coffee?
Yeah, definitely. No cake for me. Lisa's telling me I'm
I'm tempted, but I'm going to be good.
And we've only got 10 minutes before the meeting.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that we've mentioned recently in talking about competitive space is, I suppose, what this is all about. If you were trying to sum it up, is about becoming the obvious choice, becoming really compelling, isn't it?
Yeah. The multitude of companies we're dealing with who are just so bland and like everybody else, like a herd of zebra. You can't pick one individual out from them. So this is very much the opposite. It's making them blindingly, singularly the obvious choice.
And I think what's difficult about this for a lot of companies is because they've got to do it very simply. Complexity is easy, and it's the techie mind, and I don't mean just
I'm glad
the
you brought
programmers.
that. Yeah.
It's the techie mind that gets in the way, and that's why software companies do it so badly. I mean, this is not just not good. Software companies are just really, really bad at it.
I mean, you introduced me to the sector 18 months ago, and I hadn't really had the same depth. But one thing about the sector is these people, the founders and the CEOs I've met, have been some of the most intelligent people that I've met. And I've worked at Warwick University, Rolls-Royce, BAE Systems.
Yes.
But they're really, really intelligent. And I think the intelligence can trip them up.
Oh, it does. Absolutely. I relayed a story which goes back years and years. And I remember being at an open air event, and there being thousands and thousands of people there, and there are all different types of sellers of all different types of products. And it started to rain, and all of a sudden, out of the crowd, I started seeing people with these coloured umbrellas.
Yeah.
And the one man who was there selling umbrellas, did the best trade of all. And he's standing there and saying, get your umbrellas a fiver. Get your umbrellas a fiver.
Yeah.
And he's feeding a hungry crowd.
Yes.
And there's no complexity there.
No. He's got a simple, obvious answer to the rain. He's also done it strategically. He's thought ahead. What if?
Yes.
What if it rains? So he has brollies in his van or truck or whatever.
Yes. Now,
and the other joke is he can double his price because he's going to turn down the brolly at that point. He's not competing on price. He could go, it's tenner now.
He was the only one there selling umbrellas, and it was raining. And you've got a massive market. Everybody wants an umbrella. They don't want it to spoil their day. And he could have sold as many umbrellas as he needed. He did a great trade. But the software sector, they would overthink it. First of all, they would probably go and set up in a beautiful location in a valley with mountains in the distance, and they would set up as the sun was rising, but no people.
No, obviously you don't want to be anywhere near people. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is that thing, let's not go where the people are. If they put up an advert, it would have several acronyms on there.
Oh God, yes. Multiple bullet points. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Collapsible HPTA mechanism for protecting against all forms of weather. They would make this thing so complicated, and you'd think, what the hell is that? What's an HPTA, for God's sake?
Absolutely, yeah. and additionally, we all know what colour it would be, the poster. It would have to be blue, because, that's just a given. Blue brollies available from blue companies.
Yes. Or if you're in the computer software sector, you have to have a website that's blue. I think that is a rule.
Mandatory. Yeah, it's a regulation.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
I think what this leap jumps to is this need to be seen as one of this type of thing, this having an affinity. And it's one of these things that I came across when I touched base with Dr. Helen Turnbull, who's a fabulous lady who investigates the subconscious mind and the biases that we all have as human beings.
Yes.
And the truth is, we are all much more comfortable when we're with people who are like us, who mirror our cultural in our attitudes and our behaviours, because that makes us feel more secure that our behaviours are not anormal. The reverse is also true. So if you bump into somebody who makes you feel uncomfortable because they're from a very different culture or background or behaviours, you don't want any of that. You reject it. So part of the unconscious bias thing that we touch on is this thing that you want to be like the people like yourself. So blue, highly intelligent, and lots of techie words.
Yes.
That's what all of us are like. But actually, the really disturbing thing is, like the people in the field buying brollies, there's a whole marketplace out there with different people, different attitudes, different cultures, different mindsets. And
Yes.
they're your potential customers.
Yes, you have to be noticeable. You have to be selling the right product to the right people at the right time,
Yeah.
and just communicate simply.
Yes.
I mean, the man said, "Get your umbrellas here, a fiver." You know, it's very simple.
It's as
But-
straightforward as it comes.
I've asked senior executives to give a 30-second pitch on their own business. In fact, I've asked groups of them, and they all shuffle in their seats and they don't want to do it, or they give me different versions. I've had it separately where you think they come from different companies. Now, if you
Yes.
can't articulate what it is that you do in a way that people understand, and for your prospect that makes them want to buy it, then that's a big problem.
Yeah, certainly turns off the appetite immediately.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to work at this really hard. You know, the desire has to be massive
Yes.
to overcome that, to get to the conclusion that, yeah, this is actually what I thought it was, and I want it. Yeah.
But the behaviour is perpetuated because they will win some sales no matter how bad they are. And it's
Oh, yes.
not about it's not an on-off switch. Does it work? Yes, then it's right, or it doesn't work because nobody's bought it. It's a sliding scale, and the higher that you can move on that competitive space index,
Yes.
as we've said before, there's lots of different measurements there because it's a multi-layered mechanism,
Yes.
multi-layered
Yes.
cake. The higher you move on that index, the greater the success that you will
Yes.
be. And why it's so compelling, why it's so exciting, is because it's based upon cognitive science and psychology and the way the brain works. So if you want to be really compelling, then understand the way your mind of your prospect works. And that doesn't mean pigeonhole them because they're in a techie role.
Absolutely not. They're still a human being. We do acknowledge that. Techies are still human beings, and I love it when they light up, when you connect to them. You know, we've had a number of occasions where you address the human being behind the title, and they light up. They're recognized as a interesting, dynamic personality in their own right. And actually, in a real sense, what we're doing with Competitive Space is giving the entire company its unique personality.
Yes.
Making that the attractive bit that draws the hungry crowd to them, begging to buy the umbrella.
Say something that they really want to hear in
Yes.
the way they want to hear it. Don't lecture them for 15 minutes when you could have just said, "Get your umbrellas here, a fiver."
A fiver. Yeah, I mean, we've deconstructed 3.5-hour presentations down to 9 minutes
Yes.
and had fabulous results.
Yeah.
Fabulous results. And in fact, we're not prescriptive in saying it's so many slides in a sales deck. It's when the story is told, the deck will finish. And it's not a long story and it's not a complicated story. It's a simple human-based story. And the deck supports it.
Yeah,
Very powerful stuff.
it is.
How are we doing for time? Is the boss going to get us?
We need to get a move on.
Oh. As always.
Yes.
To go then, is it?
To go. Let's go.
All right, till next time, mate.
Yes, cheers.